Guys, I just wanted to do a quick little video on information about how to get the process going if you feel like your child needs some type of intervention or some type of support for his or her academics and how to start that. I've gotten a lot of questions as where do we start or where do I start? And I hope the fan doesn't make much noise, but it's really hot in here. It's really hot today. Anyways, I hope everybody is doing really well. I hope everybody's school year is going great. So where do you start? Like, how did I start? How did we get to where we're at today? Well, the first thing that you need to just look at an overview is if your child does need any type of educational support or any type of accommodations within their school setting. And if you have some concerns as a parent or if the teacher has concerns, vice versa, one usually contacts the other. So if you're seeing that your child is having difficulties in certain areas, whether it's academically, socially, behaviorally, I mean, we could list a bunch of different things. You have the right as a parent to ask for what they would call an evaluation type of process to get set done. So the best thing is to email your child's teacher as well as CC the principal on that email, and then they can direct you to the people that they would get the people to get in touch with you to further on this evaluation process. And this evaluation process is usually a bunch of different types of testing and assessments for your child to go through depending on what they're looking for that your child may have difficulty in. Gavin's been in a lot of different type of assessing, and just to kind of talk to you a little bit about that is that these testing and these assessments are so broad. And so as a parent, you see certain types of scores and then you wonder, like, is my child really having difficulty in language arts? And oh my God, is my child really doing poorly in math? And some of the tests are, again, very broad. So the grade levels are usually grading testing from grade levels 1st through 4th, and then you have a second grader. So like I said, results are very broad, so don't really get fixated on the assessment or testing results. You know what's best for your child, and you know what your child needs in order to be successful. And I have a great friend that told me that additional help is okay. Your child should never be ashamed for extra help, ever. I think that's a big thing in our society now is teaching young adults. And what I do is a lot of students are too ashamed to even ask for help, and that's really sad because there's so many resources on certain campuses that can assist others in getting help. And we should start teaching our children at a very young age that it is okay to ask questions and it is okay to ask for help. So first, evaluation process, they'll get that done. They'll do some testing. Usually the evaluation process takes about 30 to 60 days. So you definitely want to be on top of it, of when they're going to start testing and when the end date of those testings are. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure that you write off on these types of testings. Make sure your signature is on them. Any type of the school setting cannot do any type of testing without your consent. So if there are several testing or assessments they want to do during this evaluation process, you have the right to say, no, I don't think I want my child to be tested for that, but yeah, I think I want to go with maybe some occupational testing instead. It varies. So again, you have the right to choose what testing you want to be done with your child. After the evaluation process, I'm going to show you this chart that I'm going off of that I found off a great website. A great website. I'm going to put it on our website under our resources because it's just phenomenal and great tips. Is that you usually you'll get an email or some type of letter saying that an IEP team has been developed for your child, and or maybe not. Maybe they did well in their assessments and there's various ways they're going to deal with your child's situation. But usually a school team of professionals will come in and they'll be your child's IEP team. For example, our IEP team consists of a school psychologist. We don't have OT anymore, but we have a speech pathologist. We also have a resource teacher who's special academic instruction. That's what that title is, as well as she also does special ed and his general ed. And usually what will happen is after this evaluation is done, you will have your first IEP meeting. And the IEP team meeting is where you are going to go over the evaluation and process results, and to where your child may have some difficulties or maybe have great achievements in. It can go either way. I think it's really important for educators that sit on these IEP meetings, as well as any of the team members, to not just remember the things that the child isn't good at, but to also let the parent know, hey, your child is very good in this or has achievements in that. Because as a parent, when you walk in there, it is very intimidating because there's a bunch of people and it's just you, and sometimes it's just only you. And remember, you can bring anybody to your IEP meeting. And something that you should also do, that we do as well, is that the school or the IEP team in that process, the parents have the right to review those evaluation processes. So as a parent, you can review all of the testing and the assessment sense for your child before you go into the IEP team meeting. So it's really important that you ask for those results before you go in. I mean, that made a huge difference for me and Daniel going into Gavin's last IEP meeting, was reviewing all these assessments, not just with us. I mean, we had friends that work in special ed. We had another friend who's just a general ed teacher. I have a sister-in-law who works with in special education as well. And then we had our own behaviorist named Lori Singer, who went over it with us too. So we had like 6 or 5 different views. And believe me, if you ever want assistance on that, or you email me or shoot me a message through our Instagram account, I'd be more than happy to help you with that and help you get some second or third opinion. So you do have a right to get a copy of all of those testing and assessments through that evaluation process before you go into your meeting. So when you go into your meeting, they usually will have an individualized education program provided for your child, and it will list any type of individualized instructions, any accommodations, any modifications, any related services that they want to offer your child in order for them to have success. And as a parent, you don't have to sign off on that IEP right there and then. Actually, the best thing that I did was I brought it home, and I had all my other friends and supporters look at it before I signed off to make sure that it was the right thing for Gavin. And like I said, as a parent, you know what's the right thing for your child, and you know what type of accommodations they're going to need, and maybe you don't, and that's okay. That's where, as a parent, you can ask all the questions you want. And these IEP meetings, they usually say, oh, it's going to be an hour or 2 hours. You can request a 3-hour time period. You can then tell them, hey, like, I'm not so sure about this individualized educational plan just yet. I want to come back and discuss more, and you're more than welcome to do that. And so I would definitely do that, just because there's a lot of different acronyms going on there. There's a lot of different language that maybe it's not relatable to you. Believe me, that was me on my end. So by bringing it back and getting a second opinion was actually really, really helpful. So after you finalize and sign off on your individualized educational plan or program for your child, so their IEP, then right there and then services and any type of modifications are implemented for your child. And it's really important that you go also over the goals for your child that they may set for him or her. Some goals are realistic and some of them aren't. So something that I use with Gavin is the SMART goal theory, and I actually even use the SMART goal theory for my own classes at Santa Barbara City College and at Cal State Channel Islands. So I want you to look at the goal. Like, is the goal specific? Is the goal measurable? Is the goal attainable? And is it done? Can it be done in a timely manner for your child? So basically, like, is it realistic? There was some goals that were developed in Gavin's IEP that I just didn't understand, and so they were reworded, and then they're going to be implemented in a different type of way. So again, if you see something on that plan after this whole evaluation process, then definitely have questions about it, look it over twice before you sign off on it. And just because you sign off on it doesn't mean it's set in stone. So for example, we were looking at Gavin's pull-out schedule, and he's being pulled out quite a lot. He's about 85% in general ed, and the other percentage he's doing speech therapy, SAI, which is special academic instruction for math and English, and he's doing speech about twice Tuesdays and Thursdays. So it's like a lot of pull out. I mean, Tuesdays and Thursdays getting pulled out 4 times a day, so I wasn't okay with that. I totally understood the speech because the speech pathologist is only there Tuesday and Thursday. So, but Mondays and Wednesdays and Fridays for math, I wasn't too sure about. So we actually have our first IEP team, our team meeting. I have to say it the right way, not like a whole IEP meeting. We have our team meeting at the end of this month, and that's something going to be discussed because I did know that Gavin needed some additional help with like comprehension and the English part, even though he is really top in his reading, but I didn't think he needed that much assistance with math, except for word problems, but that kind of all goes back to comprehension. So we're going to do some modifications on that. And like I said, once you sign off, it's not set in stone. You can contact the case manager. Every child has a case manager who has a individualized educational program, the IEP. So find out whose yours is for your child and keep in contact with them. Do a group email. I have a group email going on with Gavin, so everybody's in the loop. And it's just to better communication. But again, this is the process of how it gets started. Again, you are the advocate for your child, and I'm doing the best I can do. Believe me, I've had like a lot of slip ups. Like there was some stuff on his current IEP like that I overlooked, and that's like totally normal. Like nobody's perfect. But you are an advocate to where if you see your kid struggling or you think they need some assistance, like just ask for help, contact the teacher, ask the teacher who else you can contact to further the assistance to get the resources for your child needs. And it's your right. It's your right, especially if they're in the public educational system, to request and to ask that. And the evaluation process, it's also really it's not time consuming, but it's one of those things where you get a realization of kind of where your child is at, especially on an academic level, and it's going to help you better as a parent to work on certain things at home. That's what we've been doing here. And like I said, no one's perfect, but you could be the best advocate for your child, and that's at the end, that's what it's all about. It's all about getting them extra help, and there's no problem and there is no issue with getting your child some extra assistance, and it would make the road smoother and better overall. So I really hope that helped you. This little it's like a concept map is going to be on our website, our blog, and the site that I got it from is from understood.org. It's amazing. Like they go over like IEPs, they go over the certain goals you should ask for your child. They go over there's stories of other parents that are maybe in a similar situation as you and me. So it was really funny to read. One of the women that posted her stories was like, I'm not a case manager and I'm not a psychologist and I'm not this, but she felt like so much was on top of her. And she was she was trying to utilize all her resources, but doing the best she could do for her daughter. So anyways, check it out. It's great. I mean, it kind of directs you on where to start. And I hope you have a great week, and I hope it's kind of helped you out. And God bless everyone and have a great day. Bye.